I had this this moment in the grocery store yesterday that I think perfectly encapsulates our whole relationship with food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was standing there staring at that little plastic clamshell of mint. The one, it costs like $4 for 3 tiny sprigs.
Right, the little green plastic boxes.
Exactly those things. And I had this incredibly cynical thought. I just thought, is this actually doing anything for me? Or is this just expensive decoration?
The green confetti theory of nutrition.
Yes, exactly. Green confetti. We have this deep-seated, almost subconscious belief that healthy food has to be a punishment.
Right.
It has to be steamed, it has to be bland, and it just has to be sad. And if it tastes good, well, then it's a cheat meal.
It's what I call a culinary penance mindset.
Culinary penance, yeah.
The idea that you have to suffer to be well.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's completely wrong.
Which is exactly what we are diving into today. We are looking at a report that essentially hands us a cheat code for diet.
It really is a cheat code.
It turns out the stuff that makes food taste the best, the fresh herbs, are actually the most potent tools we have for disease prevention. We're basing this deep dive on a breakdown from today.com featuring 3 top-tier dietitians. That's Natalie Rizzo, Julie Stefanski, and Julia Zumpano.
And the mission today is simple, but I think it's radical. We want to move these green things from the garnish category in your brain straight to the medicine category.
Medicine, I like that.
Because the science is finally catching up to what grandmothers and traditional healers have known for thousands of years.
But before we get to the specific list, and we do have the top contenders to get through today, we need to settle a debate I have with my spouse constantly. What actually is an herb?
Oh, this is a classic debate.
Because I feel like I use the words herb and spice totally interchangeably, and based on this research, I'm dead wrong.
You are definitely wrong, but you're in good company. Most people mix them up. The source draws a hard line here based on anatomy.
Anatomy of the plant.
Right. It is all about the part of the plant you're eating. If you are eating the leaves of a herbaceous plant, that is an herb.
So green and leafy equals herb.
Precisely. Basil, parsley, mint. Those are leaves. Spices, on the other hand, come from literally any other part of the plant.
Like the roots.
The roots, the flowers, the seeds, or the fruits. So ginger root, that's a spice. Cumin seeds, spice. Black pepper, spice.
Okay, that helps a lot. So if it's green and looks like a plant, it's an herb. If it's hard drying, comes a little glass jar, it's usually a spice.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
And the distinction matters for our deep dive today because with fresh herbs, we are consuming the living plant tissue.
Yeah.
And usually in much larger volumes than you'd ever consume a spice.
Right, you wouldn't eat a cup of cinnamon.
Exactly. You use a pinch of cinnamon, but you could reasonably eat a whole cup of basil in a salad.
And that volume leads us to the first big benefit the dietitians highlight. They call it the salt swap.
The salt swap, yeah.
Now, usually when I hear swap, I think of something that tastes way worse than the original, like swapping real pasta for zucchini noodles.
Right? It feels like a downgrade.
It really does.
But this is different. This is arguably the most immediate health benefit for you listening right now. Statistically, if you're listening to this, you probably eat too much sodium.
Oh, absolutely. We all do.
It's the primary driver of high blood pressure in the modern world. The problem is when we simply take salt away, food tastes flat. It tastes like cardboard.
So our instinct is to just grab the salt shaker to fix it.
Exactly. But herbs are the loophole here. Julie Stefanski points out that fresh herbs provide such a complex, volatile flavor profile that they essentially trick the tongue.
They trick the tongue, so you literally don't notice the missing salt.
You don't miss the salt because your palate is so busy processing the herbal oils.
It's a distraction technique for your taste buds.
In a way, yes. But it's a distraction with huge benefits. Natalie Rizzo notes that these are zero-calorie whole foods. You aren't just cutting sodium, you're cutting artificial flavors and sugars and replacing them with what she calls whole food antioxidants.
So instead of just removing the bad stuff, we are actively adding protection.
We are adding cellular armor.
Cellular armor. I love that image. So let's unpack this armor. We have 7 specific herbs to get through, and I want to start with one that I feel personally guilty about neglecting.
Oh, I think I know which one.
Because honestly, for years, I thought this was just the green stuff they put on your plate at a diner to make the omelet look expensive. We are talking about parsley.
The misunderstood hero of the herb world. It is tragic how often parsley is just tossed into the trash at the end of a meal.
Right, scraped right into the bin.
Because Stefanski ranks it as one of the healthiest herbs you can eat.
So what exactly am I throwing away when I scrape that garnish into the bin?
You are throwing away a density of vitamin K that is hard to find anywhere else. Now, vitamin K isn't the sexy vitamin like C or D, but it is non-negotiable for your body.
What does it do?
It regulates blood clotting and is critical for your bone matrix.
Bone matrix. That sounds very sci-fi.
It basically helps keep your bones dense and strong. But you're also tossing vitamin C and vitamin A. We usually think, oh, eat an orange for immunity, but parsley is right there with it.
That is a serious vitamin cocktail for something that tastes like, well, a leaf.
And it gets more specific. The research suggests parsley contains flavonoids.
Flavonoids?
These are anti-inflammatory compounds that help with issues like muscle cramps and even rashes. Julia Zumpano from the Cleveland Clinic highlights this point. Inflammation is the root of so many chronic issues, and parsley helps tamp that down.
But here is the logistics issue I have with parsley. To get a dose of vitamin C from an orange, I just eat an orange. How much parsley do I have to eat to get this effect? Chewing on a bush of parsley doesn't sound super appetizing.
That is the hurdle. Volume really matters here. The source suggests that because parsley has a milder taste compared to something like rosemary, it blends very well.
So chop it up.
Right. You can chop a significant amount into soups, pasta, and salads. But if you really want the concentrated benefits, the pro suggestion is to juice it.
Green juice.
Exactly. Pressing fresh parsley into a green juice gives you that massive dose of nutrients that armor without having to graze on a bushel of leaves like a rabbit.
I can definitely get behind that. Okay, moving from parsley to its controversial cousin. They look really similar. They are often right next to each other at the grocery store, but they are definitely not the same thing. Let's talk about cilantro.
Yes. Also known as coriander in some places, the great divider of dinner parties.
We have to address the soap thing immediately.
We do.
To me, cilantro tastes fresh, citrusy, amazing. To some of my best friends, it tastes literally like a bar of soap.
Are they just picky eaters?
They aren't being picky at all. It's actually genetic.
Really?
Yes, there is a specific gene cluster that makes some people sensitive to aldehydes in the cilantro leaves.
Aldehyde.
Right. To those people, the chemical structure literally registers as soap on the tongue. It's a biological incompatibility.
That is wild. So if you hate cilantro, you have a legitimate genetic excuse.
You do. But for those of us lucky enough to enjoy the taste, what are we getting when we heap it onto our tacos?
Well, distinct from parsley, cilantro is a powerhouse for potassium. We often think of bananas for potassium, but herbs contribute a lot too. Potassium is an electrolyte that supports healthy blood pressure and muscle function.
Which is really interesting because usually tacos are pretty salty, so the cilantro is actually helping to balance out the sodium in the meal.
Ideally, yes. It's providing the counterbalance. But the really interesting component here is lutein.
Lutein. That sounds like something I'd read on the back of a supplement bottle for eye health.
It is often associated with the eyes, but the Cleveland Clinic data indicates that lutein is key for fighting inflammation in the brain.
In the brain.
Yes, it helps protect overall brain health and cognition.
Brain health from a taco topping?
If you use enough of it, sure. And that's the beauty of cilantro. It adds that brightness and acidity that cuts through heavy fats like in guacamole or curries, while simultaneously offering neuroprotection.
I am sold. More guacamole, please?
Always a good rule.
Okay, let's shift gears. We're moving away from the leafy, tender herbs to the woody, hardy ones. The stuff that makes your kitchen smell like a cozy cabin in the winter. I'm talking about rosemary.
Rosemary is a personal favorite. It's native to the Mediterranean, and if you've ever seen it grow, it's tough. It's a hardy plant. And that toughness translates directly to its nutritional profile.
It definitely has a strong personality. You really can't ignore rosemary in a dish. What's happening chemically there?
It's all about the acids, specifically rosmarinic acid and carnosic acid.
Those sound intense.
They are intense in the best possible way. These are phytochemicals with very strong anti-inflammatory properties. Stefanski explains that these compounds actually help repair cell damage that occurs as part of the aging process.
Wait, so it's anti-aging?
At a cellular level, yes. Think of it like rust. Just living and breathing creates rust in our cells. Rosemary helps scrub that rust away. But there's another layer to rosemary that I find utterly fascinating.
What is that?
It's the connection between the scent and the brain.
Oh, I've heard this. That rosemary is for remembrance. Like in Shakespeare.
Exactly. There is actual modern science backing that old folklore. The source notes evidence that the fragrant compounds in rosemary, the volatile oils that you smell when you crush it, can boost alertness and help relieve anxiety.
Just from smelling it.
It supports digestion and brain health. It's not just about the stomach, it's about the nervous system.
That is wild. So when you are roasting chicken or potatoes with rosemary, that smell filling the kitchen is actually doing something physical to your brain.
It is. It's stimulating you. It's waking your brain up.
Okay, sticking with the woody, savory vibe, let's talk about sage. I feel like sage gets pigeonholed. It's the Thanksgiving herb.
It really is.
It shows up in November for the turkey stuffing, and then we basically ghost it for 11 months.
Which is a shame because sage is a year-round nutritional heavyweight. Like the others, it has vitamin K, iron, and zinc. But the standout feature here is the antioxidant profile. Sage is packed with something called polyphenols.
Polyphenols. We hear that word a lot in health news lately. Let's break it down properly for the listeners. What are they actually doing?
Okay, think of your body like an engine. Just by running an engine produces exhaust fumes. In your body, those fumes are free radicals.
Harmful molecules.
Exactly, harmful molecules that cause oxidative stress. If you have too many of them, they damage your DNA. Polyphenols are the cleaners. They capture those free radicals and neutralize them.
So they're the cleanup crew for the mess our metabolism naturally makes.
Exactly. And here is the real aha moment for sage. The research suggests that eating sage has a beneficial effect specifically on cognition. In fact, it shows promise in the research regarding the treatment of Alzheimer's disease.
Whoa, that is a massive claim.
It is a massive claim, and we need to be careful. Eating sage isn't a cure, but the data suggests it helps preserve memory function. It is neuroprotective.
That is incredible. And honestly, fried sage leaves on top of a brown butter pasta dish, that is a top-tier culinary move.
Oh, absolutely delicious.
If it protects my brain too, I'm eating it every week.
Delicious and brain protective. Hard to beat that combination.
Okay, let's move to the heavy hitters. The herbs that are probably in everyone's kitchen right now, the Italian trifecta, if you will, starting with the king basil.
You really can't talk about herbs without basil. Sweet basil, Thai basil, holy basil, it is ubiquitous.
Pizza pasta caprese salad. It's the taste of summer.
And it's the taste of vitamin K. Again, strong bones and blood clotting. But the Cleveland Clinic brings up some very broad benefits here. Basil has been linked to positive effects on blood sugar, blood pressure, circulation, and cognition.
It does a bit of everything.
It's a generalist in the best possible way.
Now, earlier we talked about the volume strategy. I feel like basil is the easiest one to do this with because you can't really eat a bowl of rosemary needles, but you can absolutely eat a bowl of basil.
Exactly. Pesto is the perfect delivery system. Think about what pesto actually is. It's cups and cups of basil crushed down with oil and pine nuts.
Which probably helps absorption, right? Because vitamins like A and K are fat soluble.
Precisely. The oil helps your body actually absorb and use the nutrients in the basil. So when you eat pesto, you're getting a massive therapeutic dose of antioxidants that you just wouldn't get from a single sad leaf on a slice of pizza.
Makes total sense. Next up, in the trifecta, oregano. This is the one I usually associate with those little dried flakes you shake onto a pizza, but fresh oregano is a different beast entirely.
It is, although the source notes that dried oregano actually retains its benefits better than many other dried herbs.
Oh, that's good to know.
Which is great because fresh oregano can be hard to find in some seasons. But the superpower here is totally different. Oregano is the antiseptic of the herb world.
Antiseptic, like for cuts and scrapes?
Well, historically, yes, they used it for that. But internally, it has strong antimicrobial and antiviral properties. Oregano contains flavones, which are pigment compounds that fight inflammation and infection.
So during flu season, oregano might be a really good friend to have around?
Potentially, yes. Zumpano notes that the antioxidants in oregano may lower the risk of chronic diseases, including cancer. It's very potent stuff. A little goes a long way.
And rounding out the trio, we have thyme, T-H-Y-M-E. I feel like thyme is the quiet achiever. It's earthy, it's subtle.
But nutritionally, it is loud. Thyme brings something to the table the others don't highlight as much, which is B vitamins.
Oh, like for energy.
Yes. Thyme is loaded with vitamins A and C, but those B vitamins are crucial for a healthy metabolism and maintaining brain function. Plus, thyme has a long history of supporting respiratory health. There's a reason you see thyme extract in natural herbal cough remedies.
I never made that connection, and since it's a woody herb, I assume it holds up well in hot cooking.
It does. You can throw whole sprigs of thyme into a heavy stew or roast vegetable tray, and the prolonged heat releases those nutrients into the food without destroying the herb immediately.
I love that. Okay, so we have covered the leafy, the woody, and the savory. Now we need to talk about the cool factor. Literally, mint.
Mint is fascinating because it bridges the gap between food and medicine so visibly. We have spearmint and peppermint, and that cooling sensation you feel in your mouth. That isn't just a flavor. That is a real physiological response.
It's true. If I eat a mint leaf, I feel it instantly in my nose, my throat, my chest.
That's the menthol at work. And it's why mint is the absolute go-to for digestion. The expert consensus in the article is clear. It alleviates nausea, relieves stomach cramps, and fights bad breath.
This weth part makes sense.
But it goes further than that. Chewing on fresh mint leaves can actually improve alertness and temporarily relieve sinus congestion.
It's like nature's vapor rub.
Precisely. And peppermint specifically is rich in flavonoids and has antibacterial and antifungal properties. So it's physically cleaning your mouth while it settles your stomach.
And it's so easy to use. Toss it in a fruit salad, infuse your water, put it on desserts. It's very versatile. Now, the source lists a few honorable mentions that we don't have time to deep dive into, but I want to shout them out real quick for everyone listening. Dill, chives, sorrel, chervil, tarragon, lemongrass, and lavender, all incredibly good for you.
All excellent choices. The more variety you have, the better.
But now we have to get to the logistics.
Yeah.
Because I know someone listening right now is thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but I don't really cook. I don't have time to chop things. Can I just take a pill?
Stop right there. This is a critical moment in our deep dive. The source issues a very specific, very firm warning here. We are discussing fresh, whole herbs. Do not confuse this with herbal supplements.
Why? What's the actual difference? Isn't a supplement just dried herbs stuffed into a capsule?
Not necessarily. Herbal supplements are often highly concentrated extracts. They can have intense drug-like effects and carry significant health risks because the dosage is so incredibly high.
Oh, I see.
Plus, they are not regulated by the government the same way basic food is. The dietitians in this report are explicitly telling you to stick to the food. Eat the plant, don't pop the pill.
Eat the plant. Got it. But my problem with eating the plant is the spoilage.
The fridge issue.
Yes, I buy a beautiful bunch of parsley. I use it once, and 3 days later, I open my crisper drawer, and it's a bag of foul green slime.
The slime factor. It's the #1 barrier to using fresh herbs. But there is a very easy fix. The tip from the pros is simple. Treat them exactly like flowers.
Like a bouquet.
Exactly. When you get home from the store, snip the ends off the stems. Get a mason jar of water, put the herbs in the water standing up.
Okay, so I have a bouquet of cilantro on my counter.
Well, for cilantro, take a plastic produce bag and loosely cover the leaves like a little miniature greenhouse and put that whole jar assembly inside the refrigerator.
In water in the fridge.
Yes. They will last 2 weeks easy this way. The only exception to this rule is basil. Keep your basil bouquet on the counter at room temperature because the cold air in the fridge turns the leaves black.
Yeah.
But everything else, fridge bouquet.
That is an absolute game changer. No more slime.
And of course, the source mentions that if you have a garden or even just a sunny windowsill early spring, is the perfect time to plant these yourself.
Absolutely. There is no shorter supply chain than your own kitchen windowsill, and that guarantees the maximum nutrient density because you are eating it minutes after picking it.
Exactly. The moment you pick a plant, the nutrients start to slowly degrade. So homegrown is the absolute gold standard.
So what does this all mean for us? We've gone through the chemistry, the flavors, the storage logistics, but when I look at this list, parsley, cilantro, rosemary, sage, basil, oregano, thyme, mint, it feels like we've just listed the ingredients of a really delicious life.
That's really what it is. The summary here is that herbs are a cheat code for your health. You are adding massive flavor and massive nutrients for absolutely zero caloric cost.
It effectively removes the excuse that healthy food has to taste bad.
It completely removes it. If you add these to your daily routine, you aren't dieting, you are dining.
I love that. So here is the challenge for you listening right now. Pick one. Just one of the herbs we talked about today that you don't usually buy. Maybe it's the fresh sage, maybe it's the thyme. Add it to your grocery list this week.
And use a lot of it. Don't be shy with the portions.
Exactly. And I want to leave you with this final thought. It's something that struck me when reading about the volatile compounds. The stuff that makes herbs smell so good, those compounds are the nutrients. When an herb loses its smell, it has lost its power. It's a use it or lose it situation.
Flavor loss equals nutrient loss.
Exactly. So if you are consistently eating bland food, you aren't just missing out on the joy of eating, you are missing out on cellular protection. If your food is boring, your cells are vulnerable. So ask yourself, are you relying too much on the salt shaker to fix your meal when the medicine cabinet is actually growing right in your garden?